think we're live?
I hope. Is it?
I think so. Okay, everybody. Well, you might not hear me really well, but today we are at the Montreal ComicCon with amazing Greg. Okay, click right there. Okay, with amazing Greg Hyland. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, I was telling him early, this is actually just for you, the guys, so you know, this is kind of like the third time that I finally came back here. Greg was really busy throughout the day. I stopped a couple of times, and then finally, this is my chance to finally talk to him. So, in my collection of comics, and for those ones that you might or might not remember, I used to run about like 6 years ago, kind of like live podcast on a blog. I used to do like a blog thing, and in this blog I used to talk about like all these comics that I just found throughout my life and stuff, and then I find this one in my collection.
My very first comic.
This is amazing. I mean, for me as a comic book creator, and for you as a comic book creator, how does it feel to have one of these guys published for the very first time?
Oh, it was really exciting because we started out doing mini comics, so they're just like photocopied, you know, a little like 8.5 by 11 paper and photocopied. So then when you have this with a color cover and it's in stores all over the world, actually, because we sold like 4,500 of those.
4,500
right off. So it was like, and that was the worldwide distribution. And that came from like selling like 200 to 400, which is really good for mini comics.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it was like, you know, I remember we couldn't wait.
So we're looking at what, 1991?
1991.
See? It's because I have my notes here. That's why.
Oh, okay.
No, but actually, like I was talking about that. And then what you can tell me about your character here, Lethargic? What you can tell me about it?
The superhero doesn't do anything.
Superhero doesn't do absolutely anything.
No.
So
he doesn't even really talk.
There you go. So do you think, now it's a question because I have another good friends. I have a few friends in Mexico that they have so thorough, enthusiastic interest in know that some characters, they should have all these specific type of forms and lines that you have to follow in order to be a successful comic. Do you think, personally, your comic is successful?
It could be more successful, but I think we did okay. And I mean, I'm still doing it, so...
Exactly. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I said that's the most important thing, number one. Okay? And then number two, do you really think that the actual visual image of the character is important?
Well, yeah, and I think I stumbled onto the design of a character that a lot of people immediately were attracted to. Yeah, but they kind of went, I like that, you know. So there's just something about it. However, then I get as many people that are like, oh, I could draw that because he's a simple character.
It can be simple, but
you can't. Exactly. There's so many people that are like, I drew it, and it's like, no, that's wrong.
That's right. Well, to me, it's like a comic book legend because you started off in 1991. You've been doing the comic book for quite some time now, and of course, like having a comic book like that as a self-published, because it was published under your own brand, right? Under your very own
first,
brand. At first, on your brand, under your brand. So then, I think this is fantastic. I mean, what's your experience as a self-published guy?
What was the experience?
Yeah, how was your experience? What you can tell us about your experience as a self-published?
I mean, it's difficult, and we made a lot of mistakes, which everybody does. And, you know, throughout the years, I'd run into people starting out, and I'd see them about to make the same mistakes, and I'd try and tell them, don't do that, we did that, try this instead, and they wouldn't. And they'd make the same mistake, and they'd lose a ton of money, and mean, that was like the one thing we kind of didn't do. We didn't actually ever lose a lot of money,
right.
but I've seen people just lose a ton, but they're also like putting together a comic that is really not
Like
it's still pretty amateurish.
Right.
And with work they could keep going, but they're like, I gotta go now, and it's like there's a reason you can't sell any, and the reason the distributor doesn't want it. And
yeah, that's right. That's right.
People aren't honest with themselves.
Yeah. I think that what do you think? When you reach a certain number of followers, is a good way to start off?
I don't know. I mean, that's different. I mean, things are so different than they were for me, right?
Yeah. Well, back in that time, we didn't have any Facebook, Twitter,
no
Instagram,
internet,
nothing. Everything was by mail, by just calling the comic book stores, making sure the comic book stores will place an order, and going over there straight up to the comic book stores, arranging everything.
Yeah.
That was just a matter of love. But anyways, we're looking about 20 years later.
Yep.
About 20 years later, Greg is going to sign my very number one of my personal collection of Lethargic.
And not only that, in the book, we said we left the back inside cover blank, saying that if you came and got an auto, to get signed, we'd do a drawing. So 26 years later, I still have to do a drawing, I guess.
Yes! That is fantastic. So, here we go. This is Greg in action right now. We're going to flip this page.
Your attendance, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 7 p.m. and the hall is now closed for day number 2 of the nomination of Montreal ComicCon. Pour l'instant de votre présence aujourd'hui, et nous vous invitons à être des nôtres demain à compter de 9h30 pour la mission VIP et de 10h pour la mission générale. Once again, thank you for attending day number 2 of the 9th edition of Montreal ComicCon. Please join us again tomorrow for day 3 as of 9:30 for VIP admission and 10 a.m. for general admission. Bonne soirée et bon retour à la maison. Et poursuivons avec les conférences. Bonne conférence. Thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a safe ride home for those who will be here soon.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Greg signed one of the first comics that he actually did 26 years later. Yeah, I'm so happy that I finally get a chance to talk to him. I'm so happy that I finally get a chance to get my copy signed. And for you guys that they want to learn more about your character, the stories, what are you doing right now, where they can find it?
Now I'm doing it all online. And it's lethargiclad.com.
Excellent.
And I've done a book that you can only get from me.
Excellent.
That is like a compilation of... But the first... I actually rebooted.
They rebooted, okay.
So I started... so this is the first 2 years of the reboot. But this book here is the first 7 years of the online comic, which continues...
Whatever it is,
what was in there. So we started in 2000. I started in 2000 online at lethargiclad.com.
Excellent.
And so you can still read it there, but you can also buy books from me. You can buy books from me.
I'm gonna get some for sure. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. Greg.
Thank you for having me. This has really been like a dream to be on this show. I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah. That was great. See you guys later.